Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and today I'd like to talk about responsibility or responsibilities. So, responsibility essentially means taking care of the obligation or obliged to do a duty that one should be doing. And thereby, by that definition, at times it feels like a heavy baggage to carry because it contains the word should, because it does not take into account free will, free choice, and a desire and a want to do something. A desire and a want that one wishes to feel accountable towards, that one wishes to feel dutiful towards. And yet, if we could see this word responsibility as an amalgamation of two words, responsibility, it suddenly and probably to a great extent enables us to see that we have the ability, the free will, the free choice to respond within our abilities, to be accountable for our choices within our own capacities, within our own abilities. And it also gives us the chance and the freedom to expand our capabilities and thereby enhance our abilities to respond well, to begin to respond in keeping with our enhanced capabilities, enhanced abilities. Now, in my understanding, humans have a very diverse and a complex understanding with regards to responsibilities. And in order to look into that, I'd like to revisit the story which we all were taught, or many of us were at least taught, the story of the ants and the grasshopper. Now, many of us who've heard the story of the ants and the grasshopper can relate to these pictures. And through these pictures, if we recollect, we were taught that ants were very responsible creatures, while the grasshopper was a lazy bum. The ants were diligent, they were hardworking, and they were proactive, while the grasshopper actually did none of those things. He was just a lazy, merry-making creature. And yet, nobody taught us to think, nobody questioned as to why we were comparing a solitary creature to a social creature. Because through the lens of a social creature who lives in a community, who belongs to a community, who gets taken care of by the community, who also has to take care of the community, who's obliged to take care of the community, the grasshopper invariably comes across like a lazy creature, like an irresponsible creature. But if looked and understood through the lens of the grasshopper, who's a solitary creature by nature, is there really any need for him to follow a line that is led by somebody else, that is being directed by somebody else? Well, the organic answer is no, because he doesn't belong to a community to follow a line, to follow a tribe, and to be led by somebody else. If he or she is a solitary creature by nature, will they be obliged, will they be duty bound to do something for the community? Or would they be completely responsible for their choices and thereby the consequence of those choices as well? Unlike the ants who were being proactive by storing the grains for the incoming winters, does the grasshopper really need to store in that much of grain for a single solitary creature? Unlike the ants who were doing their bit and their duty by contributing towards themselves and to the community, the grasshopper was not required to do so. The grasshopper, on the other hand, had to be completely responsible for its own choices because there was no backup plan for the grasshopper. There is no support system for the grasshopper. There is no caretaker or support system for the grasshopper. Can we absolutely truly say that grasshopper was lazy while the ants were hardworking? Can we absolutely ever say that the ants were truly hardworking, or every ant was hardworking, was equally hardworking when they had a support system to fall back onto, when they had a community that would take care of them if someone faltered? So, where am I going with all of this, with this story? How is this story relevant to humans' understanding, to humans' conception and concept of responsibility? Well, in my understanding, humans are probably the only species on planet Earth today that can move between the spectrum of being solitary, of choosing to be solitary, and choosing to be social. Humans probably are the only ones that have the choice, that have the freedom of choice to be responsible for their own actions and be equally responsible, or at least somewhat responsible in parts, towards their community. And thereby, we probably are the only ones that can understand the nuances of response abilities. To have the discernment to be able to respond in keeping with our abilities and keeping with our capacities, and also to enhance our capacities and thereby our abilities to respond well as well. So let's try and think about the freedom of being able to respond, or freedom of responsibility, in keeping with the human perspective, in keeping with the diverse discernment of responsibility. Let's try and ponder and contemplate on the nuances of responsibility, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share, and subscribe.